Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It's a Wednesday. I'm back to being the world's greatest dads, fading away fast. And Audrey's back. What's happening?
I am back. Oh my god, a lot. It's been going on in my life. I'm just trying to find a new place. Looking all around. It's been really hard, and New York is just white. How do you say that? It's snowing. It's been snowing almost every single day.
Yeah, I
it,
know. I saw some pictures and it looks rough. It looks Chicago like.
yes,
So have
yeah,
fun with
I
that.
know.
Meanwhile, we have no snow here, so it's nice.
Uh, Honestly, today I started to feel like I don't know if I'm really happy about this. Like I love it. I think I've been told you, and if you guys
Yep. That you
have
love
been like
winter.
watching us, I love winter, I love snow and everything, but sometimes at the city can be so messy. Like everything that when the snow is melting, everything is so dirty and your shoes are just a mess. And you, oh my god! Like yesterday, when I came back from work, I was like, oh my god, I think I'm just over it like this, probably. But
Yeah, I was
still,
gonna say you don't sound so much liking it anymore. Maybe that's why I get like sick of it after a while. But it's a nice change of
yeah,
pace. I like to have the occasional change in weather, if you will, but not regularly tundra, says Scotty. Scotty's in the house. Ryan, good morning, everyone. As you jump in, hit that thumbs up. Not a lot of like really news going on. Alan is in there. Good morning, Alan. I was looking at the headlines over there, and as always, kind of like when I was talking about it last Wednesday, just a bunch of just made up headlines. Some manager said, "Oh, he tried to get Veers to go to
Real
Real in
Madrid.
the summer with Xavi." And it's like, okay, like that ship has sailed 85 times. Xavi is not even there anymore. He got canned. So, but gotta find some news when there's no midweek games. Media struggles with
Yeah.
news over there. But if you have not seen the thumbnail, we are kind of like entering a new era over here where we're gonna start like doing some like marketing, right? If you have
Yes.
not seen the thumbnail, we are going to push out. There you go, the
Woo!
Audrey plush toy. I wore the matching hat too because my version was this,
I
but I wore the
love it.
matching hats so that it's just kind of makes a bit more sense. But yeah, yeah. And if you haven't seen the thumbnail, we're gonna rock these. I sent these to you, and I now see that you sent me the thumbnail. That's you're all over it.
Oh my god, that's so amazing. I posted this yesterday on my Instagram stories, and I'm gonna tell you something. My boyfriend used to have a mustache, so my father-in-law asked me like, "Is that you and Pat?" And I was like, "No, no." That's the like the host of the podcast, and he was like, "Holy shit!" There's some resemblance on it. I was like, "Are you serious?"
And I saw my name as Timo over there, so that has been established. I do prefer it to Yimi that I get in the chat, so there's that. But so okay, where are you? We haven't talked in a while, obviously, but
Yeah,
and it's been well, results have been good since like you
yeah,
were last on. So
yeah.
where are you at with this team? Where in terms of
I
I mean, obviously the Sunday game was kind of ugly, but you get the
hmm.
win. But where are you at with it?
I think I honestly am in the same position
Really?
because yes, we said this is a process last time. We were talking about that. We talked about being patient. We talked about a long-term process actually. And right now, more than ever, I think the players are more conscious about it than any other time, you know? And
Okay.
you can tell that in like their interviews. They're like, yes, we didn't play like super pretty, but we are thinking about like the next round or even next season or blah blah blah, new players, old players. And even in the reactions of the players itself, and I'm talking about, of course, Mo Salah, you
Mhm.
know. Like the frustrations are coming back again for the old players because at the end they know their process is just getting into their end, you know.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Hold on. How did you say mustache? That Alan is really writing that.
In
How did you say
Spanish,
mustache?
se dice bigote,
No, but how did you just say it in English? Because they're like nitpicking how you.
mustache.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know why Ellen was all over it, so I was like, okay, I didn't catch it when you were saying it. It sounded fine to me, but
Well, learn bigote now. Bigote.
bigote.
Yes.
Bigote
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like it could mean something else, so I'm gonna have to play safe on that one. But bigote
Yeah.
is mustache. Okay,
Bigote. Bigote is mustache.
let's
Yeah,
go with that.
bigote. You had that in your mind all this time when I was talking? Come
No,
on.
no, I just saw the comment where he said like mustache, and I was like, how did she say it that I didn't catch it, kind of a thing. But I was like, I was trying
Mustache.
to figure out why
Mustache.
the comment was there. Okay, so I agree to that. I think there is more. There is more frustration. Okay, is that because how we play is changing and everything is changing? So it's an adjustment for the old guys, or the old guys have, like you said, it's a process and stuff. It's a bit
Yeah.
easier to sell that to Carquez and Wirtz and stuff, the
Yeah.
newer guys. Hey, this is a process, going to take time. Whereas the older guys, one, well, they're older, so there's no more time for processes around here. That's one. And two,
Yeah.
they're just coming off of winning. So I don't want to say they're like used to winning, but they're coming off of winning. So they want more immediate impact as opposed to, oh, I get it, this is going to be a process kind of thing, because they were already winning. You can kind of, like I say, sell it to Carquez and Frimpong and stuff. Hey guys, this is gonna take time. But I feel like, is it a tougher sell to a guy like Van Dyke and Mo that this is a process?
I feel it's a matter of personalities, honestly. Because, for example, Maka, I will say he's more receptive to all these new situations than Mo, for
Makes
example.
sense. Okay.
You
But
know,
is that because Mo is not the same Mo? Mind you, McAllister doesn't look like anything he
Maka is
used to
not the
either.
same
But
either.
yeah,
He's not the same, but like the personality impacts a lot because yeah, they're coming for winning and everything, but of course the team is not the same, the situations are not the same, a lot has been going on, so it's just different. And they understand, especially being professional football players, I guess, the team is just going towards something different.
yeah. I get that's
I
that's a good
guess
point. You
so.
can see the writing on the wall a lot easier as a player. You've been there, done that. So Liverpool Chavez says, "Good morning." By the way, why? What I don't get is why Slot is putting Salah so far out wide if he can't take on players. He clearly looked better down the middle, more central against Marseille. I think that's. I don't know. I'll ask you why. I personally think because Mo is more a creator now. So we want him to kind of pull out wides. And I know it takes him away from the box and scoring opportunities, but he's more of a creator to put that ball in the box or have the overlap and stuff, as opposed to have him beat somebody 1v1. Because, I mean, we saw what happened with Nico Williams. He doesn't even trust his speed anymore. I don't know what happened in the Brighton game. It looked like, oh, Mo's back. Look at how fast he is. Apparently, Fardy is getting really slow. But why? Where do you want Mo, or where do you see Mo's role?
I don't have an idea, honestly. I I don't think
He
if
doesn't either.
he
I think that's the problem. Yeah.
I know, I don't think if he fits like
Yeah.
in the new version of this team because he's not the same, and what he's amazing doing, he's not anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. Because last year they talked about this a lot, right? He was not going to help defending, but then he was going to knock goals on the other side. And I think it became like, hey, if you're not knocking down the goals, freaking get back over here and defend at least, kind of a deal. Because he was not contributing, like attacking wise. Yeah, we are not getting the same. I still think
No.
he sees that pass after Veers. He's probably like your most creative guy in that
Hmm.
sense. Like he can do stuff, he can see things, and he, I think when he looks up, he still puts a scare in the defense. Like there are certain players when they get the ball and they look up, I don't know. Whenever we played against City, whenever Kevin De Bruyne did that, I was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want certain guys, when Trent was around, it was the same way. When can they get their head up, have time to get the ball in, you're like, oh shit, because they're gonna put it in the right spot, kind of a deal. So Mo, I think, still has that. Just doesn't have the speed. And I don't know, as a defender, if I know you're not gonna beat me with speed, it's a bit easier to defend because I'm not terrified of your speed anymore. I just got to keep you in front of me.
Yeah, we don't now that his song, we need to change it. It's not running down the wing, but like walking down the wing. And he's not anymore. It is, and it's normal. I don't know why it's such a big deal for everyone, for fans. And I don't know what's the point of treating like shit players that have given so much to the team when they're just getting old, and like, they're not giving us the same thing in yeah, in terms of behavior. That's different, like
Yeah.
this attitude shit in that, like, I understand the frustration and everything, but it's not the first time, and that honestly bothers me a little bit.
Okay.
It's like it's uncomfortable for everyone to watch, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But that's the type of player he is, also. No.
He is. And I hate to say it because, I don't like people like that in that sense, but, it is what makes him so good in that sense. Like it makes,
Maybe,
the
yeah,
selfishness and stuff like that, especially as a striker. They're like the
yeah,
wide receivers of NFL. Like they're like a little out there, a little about more me, because that's how a striker thinks. They think differently than, like a midfielder or a defender or anything. And you got to kind of like accept that. But yeah, like I did not like people talk a lot about like the smiling on the bench. Look, he
yeah,
can do whatever on the bench. It was going
yeah,
to get a reaction. He knows the cameras are on him. If
yeah.
he's pouting, people are going to say he's pouting. If he's smiling, people are now saying like he's smiling. So whatever he did, like he could be making like a freaking sandwich on the sideline and people would be like, he didn't put enough mayo. Like, like they were going to criticize either freaking way. I just didn't like how he came out, especially when you have like a young kid like Rio going in. Because
Mm,
I watched it afterwards. Gali was talking about it. I just didn't like that aspect of it because he's the leader and he's a guy that probably Rio looks up to. So you gotta, as frustrated as you are with your situation,
mm,
you still have to try to put the team in front and,
yeah,
high five the kid, wish him good luck as he's going in or whatever. Give him a couple of encouraging words because it will mean a lot probably to Rio coming
yeah.
from Mo. But Football Flashback says, good morning, by the way. The Jota tragedy has hit him hard. He no longer has Trent behind or a striker that plays to him. So that's where I think he's so frustrated. He does not think he's any slower than last year. Do
He
you
said
think he's slower
he
than last year?
yeah, yeah. I don't see him so like as explosive
Yeah.
and I don't know if fast. Maybe explosive is the word for me.
Okay.
Um, and like his accuracy to just shoot the ball is it's not there anymore either. I'm thinking about Jota, and I don't know how long this is gonna be. Like, for how long do you breathe for? Like, it is actually, if they are on the field, they're actually thinking of it right now, like over almost 8 months after. Um, at this point, I don't know if it's still not an excuse, but like specifically talking about a game like on the field
Mm.
right now, I don't know if there's such a big influence anymore for the old players.
That's fair. It says Football Fashions. I do agree that it is the shooting part of it. I think is confidence. I don't think as right when he's shooting, he's not thinking like Jota or something like that. But I think that
Yeah,
part is
exactly.
just confidence. You got to see a couple go in. That's why I thought that game where he scored, I was like, oh, this is huge because it could kind of like break the dam kind of a thing. It's funny you mentioned that because who was it on our Discord channel? Someone shared a clip from an interview Kazi did actually. Um,
Hmm.
clip from an interview with, well, no, it wasn't Kazi. Let's see, it was Serzi actually. Let's give credits where it's due. Um, Serzi shared something about Rafael Leao talking about Jota. Well, he's basically, they're talking about the national team, and like the interviewers asking and stuff. And Rafael Leao says he thinks about it every single time, like every single time they play, he thinks about it. And I guess the ratio was, if that dude thinks about it, who was only his national team teammate, you have to think people in that locker room, seeing his empty spot and all that, have to be thinking about it every single time too. And I'm not saying, people are like, oh, like people think it's like an excuse and stuff. I'm not saying it's an excuse to not complete a pass and stuff, but
Mhm.
you have to take everything and look at it from a different perspective, as opposed to that is not there. That has to be in their mind. I don't think it's making more slower, but like when the margins are so small in a league where it's like, the top of the top, like the best of the best are playing, if it's in your head in a little bit, I mean, we've all been there, right? If there's something going on in the background in your life, your work is affected a little bit. And it's not being
Yeah.
affected because what you're physically doing, but like, even if it's only 5%, even if something small, 5% of your brain is kind of occupied with it, your work is affected by it.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I was telling you. I'm not so sure how, like, if there's still a big impact on the players, like Jota's death. Like, I don't know. But I think again, it's a combination of. I think I haven't said this before, but in Salah's case, he knows he's getting into the end, and that shouldn't be easy for anybody, for any like star player. Um, yeah, it's just like it's like a candle. Everything is just like consuming and just like burning out, and it's over, baby.
Yeah, somebody has to come in and just blow it up. But yeah, I think you're right though. We can't even comprehend because none of us have been at that
Exactly.
level, well above everybody else. Like, he was top of the top of the top. This is not just like, oh, it's a Premier League player coming to the end of their career and stuff. This is one of the, I mean, he's in the conversation with like one of the all-time greats. People are comparing him to the, Hazard and Henry and stuff like that. So for person like that, when your skills are diminishing right in front of you, or your efficiency is, because he knows what he can do. I mean, for those of us who are old, as you're playing,
Yeah.
where you were at, so what you're doing now is far below what you were doing before. And there's so
Hmm.
many times, I can say this as an older guy, you realize now that your body and your brain in the past as a young player, they work together. Your brain says do it, body is like gotcha, and then the body does it. Well, as you get older, your brain says let's do this, the body is like, yeah, well, let's do it, but it's not going to be as fast. You know what I mean? It's just like that's basically how it works.
It's like,
You're like, I'm going to kick it this way,
well,
your brain says kick it that way, your leg says not that far though, like we'll kick it that way, but it's not going to go that far, dude, because you just got past the guy and you don't have those legs anymore. And I think, like for a striker, your shot is not the same. Everything is not the
yeah.
same. And I'm not saying he lost everything. But
No,
a
of
lot of
course
it is
not.
probably like what Football Flashback is saying. A lot of it is confidence.
Yeah, he's
So do you
34.
think though, like he scores a couple of games, let's say back to back. He scores this
Yeah.
weekend against West Ham, because I do expect him to start again against West Ham.
Yeah.
Do you think a couple of goals and he goes back to almost the same Mo? If it is confidence,
If it is confidence, I mean, yeah, of course. Of course. If
but you're
he
not
start,
buying that it's only confidence.
no, no.
Okay.
That was my question. He's 30, 32 or 34? I think he's
I don't
34,
know.
if I'm not
Those
wrong.
agents still seem young to me. 33. He's gonna be
33, okay.
34 in June.
Yeah, especially for a striker. Yeah, that's the point. Especially for a striker and a star striker. What you just said, someone that used to be so like polished and like perfect, and not anymore, and his body is not responding the same way, even if he wanted to. And he's screwed because it could be confidence, it could be the Jota situation, it could be the fear of changes. like a combination between physical and psychological things that doesn't help him to just go back to like what he used to be.
Yeah. I did not just compare myself to Mo, man. Come on now. More wishes. No, I mean,
You did actually. You kind of
come on now,
did.
don't feed the craze. No, I did not. I was like, in terms of aging and diminishing skills, my starting point is a lot lower than most starting point. But still, the diminishing is the same. Let's not go there. Hold on, McAllister Goats wants advice over here. I always wondered about. Well, I guess depends on what's in the sports industry, but New York has to be a tricky place to do that. Like, are bigger cities tricky to do that, or is there
To do
ultimately
what?
more opportunity to get into the sports industry? He has to tell us what he's going to. Definitely not easy living there. I mean, I think any big
Yeah.
city is like that. I look at
Yeah.
like Layla when she was looking for like an apartment in Chicago, for example, because she's in college in downtown. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous what they are charging.
No, right here it's impossible. For one bedroom, like the cheapest, honestly, if you want to live by yourself or studio, is like $2,000.
Yep.
If you find something decent, like average, with nothing. It is pretty expensive. It's a freaking expensive city. As I told
This
you
is
guys
this is
in the
hitting a
beginning.
nerve for someone looking for a place to move to, I think
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say that. If you heard me from the beginning, I'm just trying to find for a place to live in. Jesus Christ, Lord, and the competition. Like, I have a story. So we fell in love with an apartment with my boyfriend, and we were like, "This is the apartment." And the real estate agent told us, like, "Listen, the competition for this apartment, because it was like relatively cheap and beautiful. It had everything." Well, long story short, it was just a building with three apartments, small apartments. The first floor was living a Polish old lady, her daughter, and the third floor, it would be our beautiful, sweet home, new place. Well, long story short, some of the other people gave this old lady a letter translating Polish and flowers. What the actual fuck? We were like,
This
what are
is
you
where your
talking about?
boyfriend should come in, flirt with the old lady, maybe flirt with the sister, daughter, or whatever.
No,
Work the magic, work the stash. You got to work the
we
stash.
we tried everything. We tried everything. He was wearing his fire like FDNY uniform. We gave her a letter too, but in English, not in Polish. We didn't bring flowers. We were like, Jesus Christ, like it's a real thing here. So whatever. Yes, the thing of the living here, it's really bad. But honestly, there's a lot to do. I've been lazy. If I wanted to, I could be finding a lot of like people to talk and to do some lobby, especially because the World Cup is coming. But honestly, not only I've been lazy, but I don't know if I want to be part of it. You know, I swear of God, probably I'm gonna lose a lot of like uh, business opportunities. Uh, but I don't know if I want to be part of that circus, you know?
I think when there, yeah, because it really becomes a circus because of like the World Cup and all that kind of stuff gets people who normally would be nowhere around it,
Yeah.
suddenly into it and stuff like that too. Party says, believe the decline of Mo is 90% slots, tactical switches, and 10% age. Is still first in the training pass facility, last to leave. I think, like, yeah, I mean, based on what we know off of him, that guy could be like 60. I think he's still going to be like first in the training facility and last
Yeah.
out, right? So I don't think, like you can kind of judge that. I don't know if it is 90% um tactics. Virsa Nikitika get well, but Mo seems off. Because Nolan says it's just me, or does it seem like the partnership with Nikitika and Mo just seems off? I know Mo was talking about it in the beginning of the season. And
Hmm.
if you ever whenever you play on a team, regardless of how much you practice and stuff like that. I mean, the more you play, the more you know where the other person is going to be, like without even looking, without even like like making eye contact before the pass or whatever. You're like, he's gonna make that run, and then you can kind of like pass the ball and stuff. That's just something that comes with playing together for a long time. That's why it's difficult when you insert a bunch of new guys in there, because you don't have that thing. I know in the beginning of the season he was talking about Ekitike getting used to making the runs and stuff like that, but the decline is if you made my famous pies and cut the slices over here
Yeah.
for age, tactical, or whatever, how are you separating that pie? Make some slices, because 90 to 10 I think was Harry's.
I mean, I don't think we should only put those factors as we were talking. I think
Okay.
there's a lot more. But okay, if we want to do it just like tactics and age, I don't know if I should
You
say
got the
this.
knife in your hand, man. You gotta cut those slices. You can't just you can't just leave the pie in the middle there. You gotta cut the slices. So
Oh my
uh
god.
and you can make different slices. Yeah, I don't think it's just those two reasons either. Like he made it like 90 to 10 ratio. I don't think those are the only two
No.
reasons, but
No, well, 50-50 is so right? But
you don't even need a knife for that. Jesus.
yeah. I will say let's just put it in this way. I think it's more a matter of age
Okay.
um than no. All right, let's say 60% tactics, 40 age.
Okay.
Because in
Yeah, I would make
tactics,
some
I want to.
slices for confidence and stuff you were talking about as well, I think.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like I cannot do just two things. But
Yeah, no,
if
there
in
has to be more
tactics,
slices.
exactly. But if in tactics we are putting like exactly like confidence, Jota, new people, yeah, and age actually. Well, it will be like 60. No, age is on the other side. What I'm saying. No, I think it's like a 60-40.
Okay.
But definitely his age is a huge. It's a huge. I mean, you can see it, and same with Maka. It's
But
something that
Mika's
you,
young too. That's the problem with
but you
that, you
can,
know?
but but it's in terms of like rendimiento, like the way they are like developing themselves in the field.
Yeah.
It's
No, no,
just
no.
so
Yeah.
that it's hard to. At some point, it was. I remember. And I probably think it's one of my favorite players, McAllister, and it was
Same.
hard. It was hard to see him. I was just like, "What is this, my eyes? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, well," and that was like super close to Jota's situation. Like when he passed away, that was when he was the most like confused and terrible and slow and like lost in the field that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I mean, I don't know. Like even like this weekend, I thought nobody in that midfield looked good, especially Gravenberg. Holy cow, you look like he never played before. Like the way he was trying to control the ball, it was bouncing off of him like he's Lukaku or something. It was really rough watching him. But same thing with Maka. I don't know. Like with him, I always get the feeling like, especially when he's with Wirtz out there, it's almost like Wirtz is constantly trying to gear up. McAllister is constantly trying to gear down, like he's more of the old control, while Wirtz is like gearing up. And I think maybe if you can get that balance right, I get that. But here's the thing, and I agree to this. Um, I think that's why my pie is probably has multiple slices. Uh, Probably 30% is age, because you don't drop off this much within 6 months. So some of it is, I
no,
think, confidence. Some of it is, how the team is playing. Look, it's not like we've been playing great and it's only been Mo that's bad. People always trying to find one player that's not doing well, but I mean, look at the Sunderland game, for example. Suddenly everybody looked better because, yeah, when the 2, 3 guys next to you are playing better, it helps you play better. So I think some of the things where it's not like everybody's like just picking Mo. I think we're all picking on Mo because last year he just constantly created magic. I mean, he set the bar like
hmm
ridiculously high. So we're kind of
I know.
expecting that. One, doesn't matter how old he could have been 21 last year. You're not going to get that again at 22 because that was like a ridiculously high bar, I think, that he set for himself. So you were
I
never
was.
going to get that. But you can see visually, like I say, Brighton game, aside from the Brighton game, I have not seen this season Mo pulling away from someone with speed. It's always been, like he's actually falling behind, or there are so many balls as we watch McAllister that, you know the Mo from a year ago, 2 years ago will get to that ball, whereas now it
Mhm.
goes like to a goal kick because it looks like the pass is a little too fast. But I don't think the pass is a little too fast. The pass is for the old Mo, whereas you have the new Mo chasing it over here. Scotty says,
Yeah.
I just realized that Turkey, should they qualify, end up in the USA group. Who do I root for when they play each other? Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, not even
Even I
close.
know that.
Yeah, exactly. Not even close. Not even close. I mean, yeah, I would never. I mean, I'm Turkish. Doesn't matter how long you live somewhere. I'm not one of those that kind of. I don't even have the dual citizenship thing yet. That's more being lazy because I don't want to study for the test. Really, that's more that than anything else. But yeah, I don't know. You take one country and stick with it. Barack famously, who's one of our writers on the websites, has like 6, 7 passports or something crazy like that for a
What?
bunch of different countries. Yeah, I'm sure it comes in handy because you don't have to get visas and all that kind of shit. But um, s- Ryan says, I think a lot of it is tactics, but his speed has definitely decreased. Yeah, I think you can visually see that, but I think there's too much. Everybody's trying to make it one thing, like you were just saying. Like it's not one thing. Everybody's trying to make it. It's the age, or it's not Mo. It's Slot. Like it's not you. It's me. Like I. It's the tactics are not that different. I think probably the biggest difference is we do expect him to defend more, and he said it
Yeah.
last year himself that if he defended more, he would not be as efficient going forwards. Part of that is positioning. Part of that is age, because you can't do. I mean, I don't know. Like it's like basketball. If you make the guy work on the defensive ends, then he's not as good on the attacking end because he's already
Yeah.
using energy on one side. It's kind of like the same thing. But I want to ask you about the young kids because that's the talk of the town, as always. It's the flavor of the month. Nobody talks about Kiesa anymore. Everybody forgot about that. Nobody wants Kiesa playing anymore because that's all I got. How come Kiesa doesn't get minutes? Nobody's asking that anymore. We kind of like put that question aside.
Yeah.
Ramsey was the flavor of the week last week.
Yeah.
Rio is.
Rio.
You can kind of see his impact, but we were kind of going back and forth pretty much on each other's throats on Monday night podcast. Do you think he's ready to start? Because everybody wants him to start because somehow everybody hates Gakpo, but everybody wants him to start. Do you think he's ready to start?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know.
What I do.
I heard Slot saying like he's probably, if not the second, the player under 18 years that have had like the most
Minutes.
minutes in the
Yep.
Premier League. And that speaks loud, about like how confident is Slot about him, which is great. And I think it's really good too. Um, but man, 17 is too young.
Do
No,
you
I
think it's
don't.
just age? Because I don't care if he's like 12, but he looks like he has a 12-year-old's body right now. Like, say, I had the same thing with Neoni. Like, he's still has a kid's body to be able to play 60, 70 minutes and do what you see him doing now in 10, 15. I guess that's my case. What you love watching from him now, you can't do that for 60, 70 minutes and defend at the same time.
We have a saying in Colombia, another
All right, here
Colombian
we go.
saying
Here we go.
that it's say madurar biche. So it's like this is so why I always like pick the hardest things to explain. So it's just like
Make it hard to explain.
when
We
you
got
have like a green mango or a green fruit, that is really young, that
okay.
hasn't that is not ready to eat, and you try to take it to that point no matter how, but you wrap it in like paper, or you heat it, or to make it ready to eat. So
Wait,
that's the
is
same, like
wrapping in
you're.
paper a thing, or you just made that up?
Yes, no, no, no,
For
no, we do
mangoes?
that. Yes, mangoes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I did
I,
not know
I
that.
don't know if it's a matter of like the oxidation or something, but like it actually
I'm
works.
sure there's a science to it, but
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is like uh, when you force something to go to a certain point, um, yeah, when you're just like pushing it too hard at the end, you're gonna damage that. You're not. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be positive. It can be. Yeah, you're just like cutting the process. So I definitely think it's just too. It's too early to put him as a starter, and he needs more, like, I don't know, like physical preparation, gym. uh I don't know, but like I'm thinking about Messi too. At what age he started to being a starter? Do we know that?
I
You
don't know
you don't
because
want
I'm
to
not
like
really like
just.
one of those like Messi or Ronaldo guys, like I, couldn't care less. But
But
my thing
that's
is,
just
even
as
if he
an
started when he was
exercise.
10, my thing is for every story of a guy, like look at Yamal and stuff, for every single guy you're gonna point out, probably like five different names you're gonna point out. There's probably like 500,000 players that's were supposed to be that and they never made it because they were rushed too early. So taking like an
Good point.
over the top example, because everybody says like look at Yamal and stuff. How many people have Barcelona chewed through just within the last 3-4 years alone? Because
Yeah.
one, I think psychologically that's the deal. And two, if you start getting injuries on that kid that young, Boxer Boy says 19. See, we have Messi fans in here. But like I say, I don't care about the age as much. I just look at, physically, are they ready? I think everybody, like, he's a fun kid to watch, right?
Hmm.
And he's very aggressive. He goes at players similar to your boy Diaz, for example, right? He goes
Absolutely,
at
he
players.
gave me those
So he's
vibes.
a fun player
Absolutely.
to watch and exciting to watch. But the catch is we're watching him 10, 15 minutes. And if anybody knows how many minutes, we're guessing, if anybody knows how many minutes he can get, it's guys who watch him practice every freaking day and not the guy
Hmm.
on Twitter who says, well, let's put him out there and see what happens. Well, your job is not on the line. You're going to come in and bitch that, Gakpo didn't come in earlier or something on
Yeah.
Twitter. That's all you're going to do. Whereas you're affecting the kid's career, you're affecting how the team is playing. And what is the rest of the team thinking? Like, is the rest of the
Hmm.
team thinking, yeah, this kid should start? Or I feel like, what we're doing now, should he get a little bit more minutes? Yes.
Hmm.
I do think he can come in maybe like 70 or something like that, kind of like try to build up minutes. We're kind of maybe wrapping him in paper or cotton ball or whatever a bit too much. But just people expect him to start and thinking he can do that. One, I don't think they're watching how much defensive work Gakpo is doing because he's doing a lot of it, and it has really helped Karkas be a lot better at what he does than earlier in the season where Gakpo was not helping on defense, for one.
Yeah.
And two, like I say, if you're using that much energy defending, then you don't have all that energy to do your step overs and stuff like that. That's why those wingers, when your boy Diaz was there, it was so valuable because he could do the work defensively, and then he still, when he got the ball, he was a threat. I think that's too much to expect out
Hmm.
of a 17-year-old.
And and speaking of Gakpo, I think that's the main reason, um, of what he looks so freaking slow, man, lately. Oh, he looks heavy. He looks
Really?
so
Gakpo?
oof, yeah. Last game, at least, I was just like, this guy is. It was just, it was really slow. It was really slow. I couldn't. I don't know. And but like, yeah, I understand the point that he was just making. He was just like backing Kirkus and just like trying to be more going back pretty fast too,
Yes.
moving forward. But I don't think he looks. You don't think so? I'm just trying. Snail. That's the name of the thingy.
Yes.
Snail. It looks like a snail. Like that last game, I wanted to like push him.
I
Like,
mean,
come
he's
on,
never been a
come on.
speedster. I don't know. I don't know if I noticed like a drop in terms of speed. Do I wish he would take more people down to the line? Yes, as a winger, but
Hmm.
I feel like I've been like a Gakpo apologist for the last couple of months over here. I think he's the new people don't want to say Mo because they feel that's like disrespectful, for example. So they got to pick somebody in the front line. I mean, what did Ekitika do Sunday, if you think about it? But he's done well, so we're not picking on him. So Gakpo has been what we used to do with Lovren or Gomez when he played. Like everything is somehow his fault. Trent will be nowhere to be found. It will be Gomez's fault somehow. But
Yeah,
he couldn't defend three guys. So like fans sometimes pick a dude and then just hammer the shit out of
beat
him
the
for
shit out of him.
everything that
Yeah,
happened. Ryan
yeah,
says Sterling, but that's what I mean. Like people are were literally like, who else? I
yeah,
guarantee you, if I said who were young guys that we never freaking heard from, where the hell are they now? This chat would go crazy. We could rattle off like freaking like 100 names in like 2 minutes
yeah,
because for every Sterling, for every Messi or whatever, there's a couple of thousand guys that you never hear from again, and they were probably
yeah,
rushed to save jobs or if you handle this well, and if this kid really turns out to be a good left winger, as a club, you're saving yourself 80 to 100 million in this off season if he's going to be able to be your starting left winger and stuff. So why
mhm,
risk that because some guy on Twitter wants to see him 5 more minutes? So because the same guy wanted to see Chiesa 2 months ago, but
yeah,
now
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not saying that anymore.
No, and honestly, just answering your last question, they can't put him as a starter. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna probably do an amazing. But at some point, he's gonna burn out.
Yeah.
It's again because they're cutting the process. And if these like his trainees are looking at him every day, they know exactly how he can how do you say rendimiento? Dios mío,
I don't even
in
know what I don't
English.
know Spanish, so you were like, "How these?" It's like me saying something Turkish to you and be like, "How do you say that in English?" If I knew Spanish, I could have tried to help out.
Performance.
But
No, it's not even performance, but it works. Like yeah, they know like what type of performance he can give us
yeah,
in an actual game. So if I will put it, no, they can do it absolutely, and I think he's gonna give them some results. But at the end of the story, is not gonna be the best decision, and I think the fans we should really start to looking at the team with different eyes and not as a trophy maker.
yeah. I mean, it's the thing that's it's very easy for people to say, "Well, let's put Ramsey and let's see what happens." Like you don't like who
Yeah,
manages like that? Let's see what happens, kind of a thing. They know what happens. I mean, like we were going back and forth on the Monday Night Podcast too. People are like, "We've never seen it." Well, you freaking have never seen it. They see it in practice every
yeah,
goddamn day. Like it's not,
exactly.
it's not important that you see it. It's important
Yeah,
that like the staff, the management staff sees it, and obviously they
yeah,
see it every day on the pitch. And if they feel like he's not ready, you kind of have to give him the benefit of the doubt as opposed to a
yeah,
guy who has not watched one practice all season, kind of a thing. That's the part I don't understand. People, and these are especially for young kids, like a young kid like Rio. It aggravates me even more when it's Chiesa and stuff. It's whatever. Some people playing Football Manager, but when it's a young kid, the thing that pisses me off is you could ruin this kid's career. You don't give a damn because next month you'll be like Morrison should be starting and start, banging that drum. Well, but that kid is gone now. You ruined his
yeah,
career because he was rushed and stuff. That's why it
yeah,
annoys me more when it's about younger players as opposed to older players, like like we said, like the Chiesa thing. Ramsey is the same way. It drives me nuts. Like I say, the Chiesa drum
same
has
man.
stopped, and I go online. People are like, "Why isn't Ramsey starting?" When was the last time you watched freaking Ramsey play? To say like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I want Ramsey starting," it's just nuts. I just don't understand. People like anything but what we're seeing now, and it doesn't work like that. Not to mention people on the pitch,
hmm,
they know when the emergency glass has been broken as a guy on the because right? It's like you're like he's coming in, like it's like we're really desperate now, kind of a deal. So you gotta kind of like trust the guys on the pitch and show that you trust what they're doing. Look, no Forest game that had to be the worst first half I watched in
Yeah, it was terrible. It
a
was pretty bad.
long, long time. So the West Ham game now this weekend at home.
Yeah.
Do you think it will? My hope is it will be kind of a reaction because they know they play like crap too and had no business winning that game.
Yeah.
How optimistic are you about the West Ham game?
Well, playing at home is always a relief, a little bit, especially coming from a terrible performance. Uh, I'm still optimistic. I'm still, we, listen, results matter a lot, especially in this moment of the history of our club. And we've been winning. We won the last 6 games. From the
Five,
last
five.
eight
We lost the
games, we
City
won
game. Feels like
six.
we should have won, but that's the only
So
game, the City game.
yes, exactly. Um, and it could be worse. We could be having a really bad performance as we did last game, right? And keep losing.
Yep.
So it's just, let's try again. Let's try to like to stay positive and to understand that results matter a lot, a lot. I'm not trying to be like conformist and just like, yeah, yeah, whatever. It's just, it's the only thing that matters. No, it doesn't. But it's just, in my opinion, it's a huge accomplish just to win with the team in the conditions that in the way that the team is playing right now.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
wow, it's I feel good with it. So we can do it better, absolutely. We're gonna do it, yes, very soon. I don't think so. I think we
Okay.
still getting slowly into um sticking to a good plan and a good way of playing. I want to stay positive. I know it's really hard. I know it's just,
See,
I don't
I'm
know.
like positive. I don't think. I mean, yeah, looking at the play, it's hard, but I think there were so many factors. First of all, we have not won there aside from that last second Nunez goal in ages. I think it was like 16 games or 17 games or something like that. We had not won away. It's not an easy place to win. We
Mm,
did play extremely poorly. Like I say, I don't think there's any excuse for some of the performances there. They were horrific. But you got lucky one way or the other. And let's face it, we've had it the other way around where we played pretty decent, but then consider the stupid goal and lost, or consider
yeah.
the stupid last second goal and drop points and stuff. So sometimes you gotta ride your luck. Bob says, where have you been, Bob? At the end, set up with so many unfit players on the bench, it's on Slot and Hughes. I put that more on Hughes than Slot personally because we didn't do anything in January and
Mhm.
you knew the situation you were in. But yeah, I don't know, like, because last season when we didn't have injuries, so I guess some of it can go to Slot in some ways. I mean, not the Isak injury, that's a freak ordeal. Leone
Oh my
injury,
god.
like some of these season-long injuries is
Yeah.
not really as many. It's not like really like muscle injuries or anything like that when it's like an ACL and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's still a muscle, but you know what I mean. It's not like, oh, they pulled a hammy or it's like because of they don't have minutes and all that kind of stuff. I do. Last year we credited them, said we didn't have any injuries because of the way we played. We played control. We didn't run like a maniac all the time. We kept the ball and all that kind of stuff. So maybe not being able to do that as much is kind of like more wear and tear on these guys, especially after last season.
Yeah.
And man, some of it is luck. But I do agree on the Hughes part because you knew exactly what you had and you did not make a move. You felt like, and I mean, I get it. I don't like it. I get that they didn't break the glass and like cause the panic and said, "Oh my God, we got to go sign somebody that maybe we don't want to keep or whatever." But yeah, I would have liked to see another center back come in or like a center back that can play right back or something like that, similar to Gomez. Because I do feel we look our best right now when we
I was
actually
gonna
have a
say
right
that, but
back
yeah.
with Gomez, but then you have every single healthy center back on the pitch at the same time, which I do not like seeing because we're gonna get to a period where they're going to play midweek now too with Champions League and stuff. But give me a score prediction.
Um, let's go with 3-1.
3-1. Well, I've been writing that the Timucin special, the 3-1 all week. I do think they will be they will have a reaction. I've been kind of saying this last couple of games where like we've all walked off the pitch thinking, how the hell did we win that?
Hmm.
And I think they know that too. Like, they had no business winning that game. They got away with one. And being home against West Ham, who has been better of late, and it looked like they were going to get relegated and it wasn't going to be
Hmm.
close. Now they're kind of like, so it will be a tough game. You're playing when you play against teams that are fighting relegation and stuff, but we are short 2 to 3 free transfers of, I think so too. If they're players that you would play, like if they're actual options though. Like I didn't want like a Ben Davies that with like a hologram of a player that you never saw. So if they were legitimate options to actually come in, I do agree. Like 2 to 3 players is what this team needed. Somebody up top. I mean, we're talking about options. I think if you had somebody else come in, there wouldn't be so much of the Rio talk. If you had a right back or a center back come in, there wouldn't be so much talk of a Ramsey talk. People who are maybe not ready, people are presenting as ready because there's no other option. So when you look at the bench and you're like, people watch the game 10, 15 minutes. If it's not going well, they're like, who should we get? And they look at the bench and they just pick a random guy
Yeah.
because there's nobody else that's like really quality to come off the bench.
Timo, what happened with Gehi at the end? Because there was a lot of like talk about it and nothing happened at the end.
City paid the wages that we would not pay is basically what happened. I think like once City got involved, I knew we were not going to get that because City was going to give some ridiculous wages and they did, and we wouldn't. And I'm okay with us not doing it. It would have. That's one deal we should have wrapped up. And I know
Yeah.
it wasn't totally under our control. It was with Crystal Palace and stuff like that. But if that gets wrapped up earlier, I think this is a very, very different season just with depth alone. Milner and Matip came free. Yeah, I think that's the kind of moves we need. You know what's funny? I just read a rumor, aside from like 85 other rumors, of Liverpool signing Zeki Çelik, who's like a Turkish dude who plays for Roma right now as a right back. And I look at that and I'm like, there's no way in hell because he's like 29. So there is no way that's going to be at. And yeah, Bob is right. They had injuries. But honestly, once City's word got in, I knew we're going to be out of the race because they were going to pay money, especially in wages that we would not. And that ended up
Yeah.
being a lot. Everybody's like, oh, it was only 15, 20 million.
Mhm.
But nah, I mean, what they paid him, his agents, God knows to what offshore accounts, also his wages for 5 years or something like that. That ended up being like a ridiculously expensive deal. But you're right. If we did that in the off season
Mhm.
when it's being talked about, I think a lot of things are a lot different now. You're not conceding some of these goals, and that would be more points. But you're taking the win this weekend, and that
Yeah.
is that
Yeah, definitely.
becoming. Do you think like because I was saying I don't know like someone like Bob for example, we should ask Bob in the chats. Like people who were slot out, the flags were half masts for the last couple of weeks now because of like the points gotten and stuff. The play against Forests, everybody got the slot out flags out again despite the win. Do you think when you beat West Ham, then you play Wolves twice? Is that what it will take, or those people are always going to be there the moment something goes south?
No, like the slowed out people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, they won't change. They won't change. They're still.
Okay.
I mean, it's just even like I think I heard Kroger saying like he wants Rio to start,
Yes.
which was so weird. Like it was so
You would think
weird
category,
too.
but I don't know. When Jamie, and I love Jamie, we do a lot for his foundation and everything, but
Yeah.
he has become a TV guy.
Mm.
So, like, sometimes I think they say things. If he said he's not ready yet, that's not a headline. You wouldn't even hear about it. If you didn't watch the show, you wouldn't hear about it. When he says he should start,
Also,
it's a
you think
thumbnail.
it's
It's
a
news.
marketing
Yeah.
strategy?
I don't know. That's why he's saying it. I would have assumed Jamie would know, or maybe Jamie does see a kid that is actually ready. But
Yeah.
I think he's seeing it ready in terms of attacking. My thing more is you're not going to have Mo and Rio out there at the same time and
Hmm.
hope to defend, hope to keep a clean sheet. It's just not going to happen because they're not
Hmm.
going to. Rio might work defensively. I'm not saying he won't, but I don't think he has, like, he can give you that for 60, 70 minutes. I do want him coming in earlier. That's a different story.
Okay. Yeah, and about the slowed out people, they just want him out, no matter what. They want they like he wins or it doesn't matter. They want the guy out. I stopped looking Twitter because it's terrible.
It
It's
is
just
terrible.
ridiculous. It's just dumb. It's dumb. Like people, they don't even, not everyone, but like you can even like
You hear
keep
that,
up.
Bob? You hearing this? No, I'm just kidding. Bob is no,
Yeah,
but I
it's
mean,
like
Bob knows his stuff. I mean, like, like people like that. I agree with you. I don't think they will change their minds, but in their head, they should have a point where they're like, you know what? Yeah, maybe we are headed in the right direction. At least we're getting points and stuff. I don't know what that point is for them because they do feel very strongly. I mean, we were talking about this with you, I think. When somebody plays well, he saves Slot's job. But when he plays poorly, it's Slot's fault. I just don't, I never understand that
yeah.
logic. So he doesn't want to
Yeah,
save his
like
job anymore.
yeah, like
So,
he's doing nothing. He's
yes,
just standing there and like no, yeah, he's doing nothing. And you can like the guy or not. It's okay. You don't have to love him. But we, again, as fans, we should like think smarter a little bit, especially for a club like Liverpool, you know? And I think they're not changing their minds, and no matter what, they want the guy out. And they're gonna enjoy it that much when that happens.
I
That's
think
the
so. Like
only
it goes
thing.
back to people just want to be right as opposed to have the team
Yeah.
win kind of a thing. I mean, and I'm not judging it over a few games. I'm actually, let's say you're not even looking at last year, which I don't know why people wouldn't, but I feel like the way you started the season, what a disaster it was. You calmed the waters. I know it was a lot of draws and stuff like that, but you stopped the bleeding and now you
Hmm.
started winning. To me, that's progress. And you're seeing not only result wise, I think play wise, take this Forest game away, but against
Hmm.
Sunderland, against Brighton and stuff, I thought we played really well and you were starting to see stuff. I take that as progress. But I think you're right. Like people, if they made up their minds, does winning anything change it? Like winning an FA Cup, winning a Champions League or something. Do you think it will change that mindset?
Mm. No, no, no. People,
Really?
if we win, for example, if we win the Champions League and they see Arsenal taking Premier League or Man United or whatever, they're gonna compare that. They're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, champions, but it's like he fucking left that trophy like fall from our hands, and same for well, with the FA Cup or blah blah blah. They are always gonna have because Premier League, forget it, it's over.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll be
I
honest,
think
like if
so.
we didn't win the Premier League last season, like when I was asked last season, I always picked Premier League over Champions League. This
Hmm.
season, I was like, I'm okay with either because we had just won the Premier League. So, like, I would
Yeah.
always put it a little bit higher. But yeah, because we just won it, well, not to mention now it's out of reach and stuff. But yeah, I don't buy that. Then let's not. Why do people have so like the sixth team is overpaying their manager? I don't buy that. This is not like FIFA where you put the cards in and they play. I think there's a lot to do for the manager. I think sometimes it is overblown, the impact of the manager
Hmm.
sometimes, but I do think, you don't just put players out there and they play themselves and they work into the top five. That's not in the Premier League. That shit does not work like that, I don't
Yeah,
think. But
I don't think the situation with a different coach would have changed, honestly. Like
I
it
don't
would
think
be,
so.
I don't
Sometimes
think
that we
so.
were talking with Edith last night on the Rival Bros. Into we were talking about United with Carrick and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Part of the reason, like my theory is when you change a manager, that new manager smell like the new manager bounce and stuff. I think it's partially because, especially when you're an interim,
Hmm.
it doesn't protect the players anymore. Because before you have a shield over the players. Right now, there's a shield over the players. Nobody's saying shit to Gravenberg. Nobody's saying that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players
Yeah.
when they underperform, they never get mentioned. It goes to slots because he's the shield around. When you fire the manager, I think all the players realize, oh shit, there's no shield anymore to kind of like get all the criticism. I think everybody elevates their game a little bit more, but that doesn't last long. That's why it's the new manager bounce that then eventually goes back to where the hell they were anyway, because they go back to
Yeah.
their old both ways or whatever. But I don't think that's the
Mm.
issue for this team, and I just didn't want an interim. We'll see what happens in the summer. Probably really depends on how the rest of the season goes. I'm optimistic though, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah, but then they said the same thing when they got Dyche over there too. But anybody's they were better than Sean Douche. Personally, that's my take over there. But yeah, I just explained. I think we were talking with Edip, and Edip agrees too. Like Carrick is not really managing; he's more coming in and saying, "So, what do you guys want to do?" So they're running the team now. He's letting players do like a bit more freedom. He's not saying this is how we're
Yeah,
going to play. If you don't do it, I think when a new manager comes, they have a 3-year, 4-year plan. This is what we're going to do.
exactly.
If you don't do it, you're out. Whereas an interim comes in, it's almost
Exactly.
like a
He doesn't give a
substitute
shit.
teacher. Yeah, it's a substitute teacher, right? You're like, yeah, you guys just do your thing. Let's do the lesson plan and get the hell out of here because I don't have to deal with this tomorrow. Like, I'll let
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
away with, yeah, you can be on your phone because I don't have to deal with it again tomorrow. I think that's
Yes,
the substitute
absolutely.
teacher thing.
I don't care about your final exam. That's it. I just like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, yeah, that's it. I don't care about the trophies, whatever. Like,
See, this is why
yeah,
we get along great, Adri. But
yeah.
don't forget, these are going to hit stores pretty darn soon over there. I could not believe this one. I thought it was perfect.
It's so cute.
Mine is a little weird, but maybe because it's me, so it's normal. But yours, I
No,
thought was
it's
just
so
like
cool.
dead
No,
on.
it's great. It's great. On
But
point.
that will be
Both
our
of them.
thumbnail
Beautiful.
moving forward. So 3-1 for both of
Yes.
us. Hopefully, let's get a win. The only way to kind of get everybody on the positive side is winning, hopefully. And
Yeah.
we'll go from there. Have an awesome week, everybody. The Bolt Crew is on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Tune in for them. And then Gali and Kazi are going to be back in action Friday morning. Have an awesome, awesome week. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care.